My name is Smith. I am 24 years old. I belong to the American state of California. My parents have passed away. I don't have any siblings. It's been 3 years since my parents passed away. I am a simple girl. I don't interfere in other people's matters. I mind my own business. I live alone in a flat. I used to work in a general store. The store owner did not look at me in a respectful way. One day, when all the other workers had left, the store owner stopped me and grabbed my hand. I struggled to free my hand, and somehow I managed to escape from there. I quit my job at the store. Nowadays, I am unemployed. I am currently looking for a job. I have applied to 2 or 3 companies. It's the winter season, and it's a Saturday. After many days, the sun has come out today. I go out to the balcony and sit in a chair. I've only been sitting for a little while when there is a loud knock at the door. I go to open the door. A handsome young man is standing there with a friendly smile on his face. I look at him questioningly. He smiles and says, "My name is Orbit. I am your new neighbor. I moved in a few days ago." I say, "If there's anything I can help with, do let me know." Orbit says, "Yes, I do need your help." I ask, "What do you need help with?" He replies, "I need to make a dish, but I'm missing a few ingredients. If you have them, can you lend them to me? I'll return them later." I say, "All right, I'll give them to you. Please wait." I give Orbit the ingredients he needs. This was my first meeting with Orbit. Orbit and I become friends. Orbit is younger than me. He starts visiting my house and our friendship deepens. I get a job at a multinational company. I share this good news with Orbit, and he asks me for a treat. We both go to a local hotel on Sunday. Dinner is on me. After dinner, we go for a walk.
Orbit talks to me, and I listen to him. I start to like Orbit. He is much younger than me, but so what? It doesn't matter to me. I like him, and that's enough for me. Orbit starts visiting my house more often. People in the building begin to talk. One day in the elevator, Lucy asks me, "Jenny, that new young guy who moved in next to you, isn't he coming over to your place too often?" I reply, "So what? He's my neighbor. He comes over when he needs something." Lucy falls silent and changes the subject. I breathe a sigh of relief. Today there was a lot of work at the office, so I brought some files home. After dinner, I sat down to work. Just then, Orbit comes over. He sees me working and says, "You're still working? All day at the office and now at home? You should take a break sometimes." He pulls out a chair and sits down. "Let's go out for a walk." I really feel like going out. I refuse, saying, "There's too much work today. We'll go some other time." He insists, "I'm not going to listen to you. You'll have to come." Reluctantly, I go with him. Orbit is very happy today. I say, "Orbit, can I ask you something?" Orbit replies, "Not just one. Ask 1,000 questions." I take a breath and ask, "Why are you so happy today? Can I know the reason?" Orbit says, "If I don't tell you, who will I tell? The reason for my happiness is that I've fallen in love with someone." My heart starts pounding. I think to myself, could it be me? Orbit changes the subject and says, "In celebration of this, tonight's dinner is on me." Misunderstanding, Part 2. We both go to a hotel for dinner. Orbit places the order, and we dine in a pleasant atmosphere. Soft music is playing, and the weather is beautiful. The scent of flowers fills the air in the hotel. We finish dinner, and then take a walk. While talking, Orbit asks me, "Smith, can I ask you something?" Laughing, I reply, "Of course you can ask. We're friends now. There's no need for formality between friends." Orbit asks, "Have you ever been in love with someone? Someone who made you feel like you had all the happiness in the world?" I think for a moment. Should I tell Orbit? I decide that I should tell him. After all, he's my friend. I answer, "Yes, I've been in love. The person I loved deceived me." Orbit asks, "What kind of deception? What did he do to you?" I take a deep breath and respond, "He promised to marry me, but ended up marrying someone else. I cried a lot in front of him, but he didn't listen. He left me forever." Orbit expresses sympathy. "I'm really sorry to hear that. But for how long will you mourn his betrayal? He's living his life happily, so why are you ruining your life for him?" I'm tired now. I don't want to live anymore. My desire to live has died, I say, wiping my tears. Orbit says, "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you cry." We spend some time sitting in a park, talking. After a while, we head back home. As we enter the elevator, Uncle Sam is already inside. He looks at us strangely. I feel uneasy. I glance at Orbit, who's casually humming a tune. I reach my home, and Orbit goes to his. It's nighttime. I'm lying in bed with the windows open. A soft breeze is coming in. I wonder, who is the girl Orbit is in love with? Could it be me? I smile at the thought. I decide I'll definitely ask Orbit tomorrow. Morning comes. I get ready for the office. I work all day and feel exhausted. After finishing my work, I return home. I head to the bathroom and freshen up. While cooking dinner in the kitchen, there's a knock at the door. I go to open it. I open the door. Orbit is standing there, smiling. He has a plate in his hand. As he walks in, Orbit says, "I thought you must be tired after coming from the office, and it wouldn't be easy for you to cook in the kitchen. So, I brought this dish for you." I feel a lot of affection for Orbit because of this gesture. I tell him, "Just put the dish on the table. I'll serve it in a few minutes, and we'll eat together." We eat together, making light conversation. During dinner, Orbit says, "After dinner, let's go to the cinema. A new movie has come out." I tell him, "I'm really tired. I can't go." I won't take no for an answer. "You'll have to come with me," Orbit insists. He doesn't listen to me and takes me along. We go to the cinema, watch the movie, and it's a great one. We both enjoy it a lot. We do some shopping at a mall and have coffee at a coffee shop. Then, we return home. It turns out to be a wonderful day. Ever since Orbit has come into my life, I've become much happier. Before Orbit entered my life, it was so boring. I wasn't happy. I used to feel sad all the time. Nothing felt good. I was lonely. My boyfriend had left me, and I had turned into a machine that only knew how to work, without any emotions or feelings. I would wake up early, eat a minimal breakfast, wear old clothes, and go to the office. I didn't wear makeup, just washed my face and hands. Sometimes I'd have dinner, and sometimes I wouldn't. When Orbit came into my life, I started feeling happy. I began paying attention to myself. I even started wearing makeup. One day, while going somewhere with Orbit, I wore an old dress that I'd worn many times before. It had become worn out from repeated use. I came out of the room and said, "Let's go, I'm ready." Orbit looked at me with surprised eyes and said, "You're going out in that dress?" "Yes, I'm going out in this dress with you. Is there a problem? Have you looked at the condition of your dress? Don't you have anything nicer to wear?" I replied, "No, I don't have any decent clothes." "All right then, first we'll go shopping. You'll buy yourself some nice clothes," he said. I really liked this side of Orbit. I changed myself for him. We had a lot of fun together. Orbit taught me how to live life. He showed me how to enjoy life. I broke all the rules and boundaries I had set for myself, just for Orbit. Orbit started coming to my house more frequently. My neighbors began to look at me suspiciously. They tried to warn me a few times, but I interrupted them. My neighbor Lucy once told me, "I saw Orbit with another girl. He was laughing and talking with her." I didn't believe her. I said, "She must be just a friend," and added, "This is my personal matter, and I don't appreciate anyone interfering." I don't know when I started falling in love with Orbit. He slowly began to take over my heart. Orbit had a charming personality. He easily impressed people and made friends with strangers in moments. Falling in love with Orbit was a joyous feeling for me. I knew Orbit loved me too. He just hadn't told me yet. I decided I would ask him. I spent the whole night thinking about this and fell asleep late. The morning came. I had breakfast. It was Sunday, and I had the day off from work. After finishing breakfast, I sat down to watch TV. There was a knock at the door. I thought to myself, it must be Orbit. I opened the door, and it was Orbit. He seemed very happy. I asked, "Is everything okay? You're here so early. Do you need something?" Smiling, Orbit said, "No, I don't need anything. But I want to show you something. You'll have to come with me to my apartment right now." "All right, let's go," I said, thinking in my heart, maybe Orbit is going to propose to me. Maybe he's bought a ring for me and wants to show it to me. We reached the lounge, and there was a girl already sitting there. Orbit said, "Smith, this is my fiancée, Semi. ND Semi, this is my sister-like friend, Smith, whom I've told you about." Semi smiled and said, "Nice to meet you, Smith." I was stunned. My ears started ringing. I was shocked. "What's wrong, Smith? Don't you like Semi?" Orbit asked. But all I could hear was the echo of two words, fiancé and sister-like friend. Tears welled up in my eyes. I ran back to my apartment. Behind me, I heard Semi saying to Orbit, "I've warned you before not to get too close to people. I really dislike this habit of yours. These days people mistake a little friendliness for love. Now I've gone back to being the old Smith. I've left everything behind. I've turned into a machine once again, one that only knows how to make money.